Hello and welcome, my Pokemon Master Leaves. So, Ash. For most people, Ash is just this grey stuff that remains after you burn something or someone down. But is it really fair to boil it down to being just that? Let's look into it, all the things Ash can do that people never think of. What? Not Ash as in burnt stuff? But Ash as in the character? That does make more sense, I guess. So, Ash. Most people mock him for being a bad trainer. But is he really that bad though? Let me try to change your opinion on this. Because Ash Ketchum really isn't that bad. About the issue of him not catching any Pokemon. The phrase, "gotta catch 'em all," is American made and not used in the original, which causes this problem. It was never his intention to catch them all, so he doesn't. Filling the Pokédex? Here you have to distinguish anime and game. In the anime, he gets the entries just by seeing them. So he does not have to catch them for that. While he hasn't caught that many Pokemon, he almost has a 100% completed Pokédex. What about him not evolving any of his Pokemon? Personally, I only use fully evolved Pokemon in the games. But that is in the games, not real life. And the perspective we have to look at here is Ash in his world, which for him is real life. For us in the games, Pokemon are just sprites without any personality or will. We don't harm them by doing what we want with them. In the anime, however, they are far more like living creatures. And in this case, Ash is a very good trainer. It is simply not true that he doesn't evolve any of his Pokemon, because it is not something he can do. A Pokemon evolves on its own. And if they don't want to evolve, like Bulbasaur, he doesn't force them. Seriously, if Pokemon were real, I guarantee you that forcing one to evolve would be against the law, or at least very frowned upon. Ash listens to what his Pokemon want, even if that means missing out on pure strength. But he forms a bond with his creatures that is very deep. And now you could say, his bonds can't be that deep if he doesn't go visit his Pokemon like Pidgeot. But is that really the case? When it comes to Butterfree, he simply doesn't know where it is. And you could argue that this one is on Butterfree not looking for him. And Pokemon like Pidgeot, who says he doesn't visit them when he is in that region. We don't see that he does, but we never saw all of his life. Like, we never see them go to the toilet either. Maybe there isn't a story to tell when he visits them. But I do agree that we should at least get a little mention of him doing it. Oh, and don't forget, with him being 11 all the time that passed between him leaving a Pokemon behind and, well, now, isn't that big. Then we have to talk about typings. Many people talk about him not caring about those. This has gotten way better in the later seasons, but you have to, again, look through the lens of the anime. In the games, you have turns and everything is based on math. But in the anime, you have far more strategic options like dodging an attack, taking a defensive stance and stuff like that. Imagine two martial artists. One can punch with double the force of the other, but the other is still able to win, because he is very swift and nimble, so the attacks of the first one, while pretty strong, just don't hit him. In the Pokemon games, there's a chance a move misses, but that chance is a fixed number you can't really change. Sure, there are moves that can alter that number for the time being, and that is strategy, but that is vastly different from a real-life battle, where no attack has stats like this, and dodging is a thing of technique. Also, where you hit the opponent is important as well. Stamina even more so. While in the games, you just hit it. Even a small leaf hits the opponent, doing calculated damage, while in real life, it makes a huge difference where that leaf hits you. Also, you can do stuff like blinding your opponent. Let's take Leaf Storm for example. Why would you use that against a fire type in the game? It would be stupid. But in real life, you can use this attack that might not do much damage to block your opponent's view and then fall behind its back to fire a very effective critical hydro pump. Ludicolo could do this, for example, and critical hits aren't determined by chance, but by your strategy. Now, the infamous fight of Pikachu against Snivy. Or Snivy. It's based on the poison ivy, so it's Snivy, right? Yes, I know that there is this one episode where that school talks about Pokémon having levels. But still, levels don't exist in the anime. They used that as a metric in that episode, like you measure stuff in our world. But in a realistic world, every experience makes you stronger, not only when you reach a certain amount of it. What you learn, you have learned. And if you train your speed, only your speed rises, not everything. Same with physical strength. You won't gain physical strength by reading books. And you won't be more intelligent by training with weights. So, how did Pikachu lose to a basic Snivy? First off, people say it is only level 5, since it is a starter. But it has to be at least level 16 if we talk levels, because it can use Leaf Tornado. But again, levels don't exist. Snivy is a very slick Pokémon, so it dodges Pika's attacks easily, which is very realistic. Also, Pika can't use any electric moves and basically is very sick. If I, as someone who is untrained, for the most part, would fight against a martial artist that not only has a fever, but also has his arms tied behind his back, I would have a very good chance to win. Due to his sickness, his stamina would drain like gas in an open flame. His attacks would become slower and more predictable, while his defense is also very bad, so my normally weak hits would hit him pretty hard. Also, realistically speaking, there never is such an enormous gap between power that level in RPGs imply. A human can get stronger, but the weakest human and the strongest human aren't that far apart. And lastly, many people say he doesn't deserve his badges. Now, this mainly is about his Kanto badges. After Kanto, he simply wins against the gym leaders and gets his badge. But let's elaborate on the Kanto gyms here. Does he earn the Boulder badge? Yes! Sure, the sprinklers have gone off, so Onix took more damage due to that. But be honest with yourself here. If it starts to rain in a battle, would you say you aren't allowed to use electric moves in that case? Of course not, and nothing else just happened there. Ash just used the environment. Well, he forfeits, but that had special circumstances, and he was in no way about to lose against Brock here. So that forfeit doesn't count. Against Misty, well, that battle never got finished. But he helped protect the gym against Team Rocket. That has to count for something. Also, do you really think his Pikachu wouldn't have devastated Misty's Pokémon? With Sabrina, yeah, that is hard to count. But you can also say that she, as a gym leader, has lost because she needed to forfeit the battle due to her laughing. It is not clear if he had won the battle, but her reason for forfeiting is pretty lame. Also, she forfeited, so technically, it was a win. And lastly, Erika. Without him, she would have lost her Vileplume. Which is kinda bad, don't you think? And her entire gym burned down. Also, I think he would have been able to beat her, especially with Charmander and Pidgeotto. And ultimately, if a gym leader decides that he has earned the badge, that is their call, even if there was no battle, and they decided he is worth their badge. So, what do you think? Tell me in the comments if you agree or disagree. Also, throw a Pokeball at the subscribe button and the little bell. Challenge the like button to a battle. And maybe follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description below. With that, I will see you next time. Bye bye!